Sorry.
Not that.
Tell me when to start.
Is it working?
It says we're now streaming on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Okay. Let me actually send that.
Yeah, it's got this like weird rash around it. Oh god, no, they're not gonna comment. So I got a new tattoo and it's infected, so it's got this
Michael, we're
weird
streaming
rash on
live
it.
right now. Is this the story you want to tell?
Yeah, I don't care. They can know about my rash. I don't care.
Okay.
So I have no shame. I don't care.
Is my camera flipped?
No.
Damn it, how embarrassing.
No, you're good. It looks
No,
fine.
it is. He was
Oh,
lying.
perfect.
Oh, I thought when they said flipped, they meant it looked backwards to me.
It
What?
PG. What?
9. That's how you draw a 9.
Oh, okay.
And 9 is an opposite of a P, if you really think about it.
No, Brandon just wanted to see PP on there. That's all.
Funny.
Okay, so it's
I
on
thought you were trying-
YouTube.
I was thinking of PGB. I was like, that doesn't look right.
All right. If you are good, Brandon,
Okay.
I am good.
Hello and
No. As in to hit record.
okay. Well, we're streaming already. Just tell me when. When I see.
Oh no, I record separate from the stream because fuck it.
I'm good to go. Hello and welcome to the final EC of Power Grab Season 9, Pairs, Flop, and Friends. My name is Brandon. I will be your host for this evening, and I'm very excited to be here with our final two, Haley and Louise. I want to give you both your flowers. You have played excellent games, and here we are. It has been such a fun season. There have been blindsides. There have been powers. It's been amazing, but tonight we will crown our winner. So without further ado, the power will turn over to the jury tonight. They will each have 10 minutes to ask you a question and for you to respond. They can make a statement. This is your time, jurors, however you want to use it. Again, the 10 minutes include the question and the answers. And if you want to ask more than one question, whatever, you have all 10 minutes to use however you would like, jurors. And so we will get started. Our first juror who will be asking a question will be the timeless Mike Jones. You may come on.
LJ, that's your cue.
LJ, that would be your cue. I don't even know if that.
You know what? Like, it's so hard to find good help these days. I swear to God. Okay, so I was supposed to get an introduction from LJ, but you know what? Y'all will be hearing from my lawyers after this game is over. Okay, there he is. All right. No, I still want it. Get your ass back here. Get your butt.
I'm seeing if I could find this intro. Give me 2 seconds. It's somewhere in his prod chat. Let's see.
I will read. From his seasonal residence in Paris, France, I give you the most stylish, elegant, bewitching, handsome, and hilarious juror to appear in this or any org. Allow yourself to be seduced, enchanted, dazzled, and entranced by cinematic royalty himself, Timeless Mike motherfucking Jones.
Thank you, Paige. Anyway, back to business. Congratulations to both y'all. Yada, 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 whatever. Yeah. So, I have a question for both of you, and if it's kind of just be a quick little rapid fire, I don't need a long essay from either of you. What I respect a lot in gameplay is awareness of the way things happen and how votes came to be. So in honor of Survivor Season 46 and my personal favorite player, Q, I'm going to go through the jury, and what I would like from both of you, you could both unmute for this, is just a quick little short answer, what each player's biggest mistake in this game was. It could be the reason they got voted out, just whatever you want to give me, just quick couple words. So I'll start with Noah.
Messy.
You both can unmute. It's just kind of like after Haley, Louise, however y'all want to do it.
Uh,
Very messy.
yeah, disaster class.
Haley?
Very messy and, doing too much too soon.
Okay, I would have accepted existing for that one. Slater?
Oh, no, wasn't around. Too busy. Was doing the game thing. I think that's what caught up to him. That's ultimately why he ended up
Yeah,
leaving.
3 words,
Okay.
Magic the Gathering, for sure.
Hey, those prize cards are worth a lot of money. I don't blame him.
Mm.
Joshua?
Inactivity.
Haley?
Inactivity, but also, I think his power was very scary, intimidating.
Glockenspiel?
Um,
Hippie,
Feminism.
Okay. Alexander?
underwear,
Underwear, for sure. Underwear.
Okay, I might need a little more context on that one later down the
um,
road.
The underwear power. The underwear
blind
power.
side,
That's
blind side.
the underwear power is a sentence I never thought I'd hear in my life. Jesse?
Holding cards to her chest, very quiet.
Okay. Louise?
Yeah. I would say coasting, but coasting doesn't sound good enough. She was doing better than coasting, but slipping through the cracks, we'll say.
Okay. Hippie?
Inactivity.
Haley?
Non-existent.
Yeah. Living on the
Jacqueline?
astral plane.
Jacqueline?
Calculated, smart, strategic.
Too good. And too
Okay.
talkative.
I'm gonna skip me because I'm sensitive like that. Edward?
Lovable, too likable.
Louise?
Winner.
Okay. Cody?
Good looking, easy on the eyes, but very threat material. I think he played dumber than he actually was.
Okay. Louise?
I referred to him in the Fallen Comrades as a cockroach, but lovingly, because like cockroaches like survive nuclear blasts, right?
Yeah.
He just survived everything,
Gotcha.
constantly.
Okay. And then for Haley, what was Louise's biggest mistake in this game?
Taking me to the end.
Okay. And Louise, what was Haley's biggest mistake in this game?
When you're everybody's friend, you're no one's friend. Too many final twos, too many relationships that turn sour.
Okay. So, real quick, I got about 5 minutes with y'all. So, Louise, my arch rival in this game, I'm not gonna lie. It was kind of important for me on the way out when I knew I was going was to ask you if I'd cross line at any point. I hope you do realize none of it was ever personal. It was all just game rivalry. None of it was ever personal, and I hope moving from this, you and me can be friends because I respect the fire, and anyone who tells me to fuck off has my respect. So with that, one thing I do want to say to you is you told me at one point you didn't feel you really had a chance of winning the game. I hope tonight to see you kind of like have confidence in the game you played because I really do feel like you have a good chance of winning and you really did play a great game. So definitely don't sell yourself short in that
Thank
area.
you.
So Haley, I really did want to ride as far in this game with you as I did, and I feel like we did. But one of the things I really need clarification from was after Jackie got voted out, you came to me and said, "Oh, we can flip one of the other three and still get to the final two together." That felt kind of like a hollow promise to me at that point because I knew at 5 I was gone. I knew at 5 like my time was short. Why still did you really still think we had a chance to go to the end together, or were you just kind of telling me what I wanted to hear?
I was not telling you what you wanted to hear. I ultimately did want to go to the end with you. My final three that I wanted, was you, me, and Edward. I felt like I could have beaten you at the quiz, and I felt like me and you at the final two would have been something that I wanted. Because I probably would have cut Edward and then sat next to you. Um, just because Edward easily could have won the game, and I felt like me and you could have had a decent chance against each other, but I was not telling you what you wanted to hear. After that Jackie vote, I was like, there was a point in the game where I was ultimately willing to flip on Louise.
So, because that was the one thing walking away, like after Jackie got voted out, like obviously I was pissed off at you and I wasn't hiding that, as I wasn't hiding it from anybody when I was pissed off at them in this game. But it felt like a hollow promise. And the one thing that does irk me is just kind of lying for the sake of lying when it's unnecessary. So it did. So I do appreciate you clarifying that. And last question, then I'm gonna get out of here. Louise, scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest. How annoying am I?
You know what? I actually don't find you annoying. I kind of felt like I wanted to be like the Mariah May to your Tony Storm.
Hell yeah.
I had a great time arguing with you. It was honestly some of the most fun I've had, and I think we both saw that it was complete bullshit.
I'm glad because I said in my ex interview, there's the difference between pissing somebody off and hurting someone's feelings. Like I'll piss people off all day, but I never want to cross that line. So like again, that was why I did want to ask you that on my way out. And if being the Mariah May to my Tony Storm would be fantastic, and any wrestling fans who wouldn't get that, it's that's real right there. So good luck to both y'all tonight. Just
you.
own your games, be honest, be fair. And it's been a great season. It's been a gas. And just remember, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoe. Farewell.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. You have made my list of players I like. Okay. Next up, we have to use magic to gather up Slater, our second juror, to come ask a question or statement or whatever he wants to do with his 10 minutes. Come on, Slater. Come on, camera. I'm leaving.
Oh my fucking god.
Final 2. Cat nails. I don't know what the hell that name is, first off. Why isn't it Cat Beebs? Okay. So you both basically gave the same answers for every single juror. So that already tells me one thing, that you both played a very similar game. So I need both of you to tell me, how did you distinguish your game from the other?
I'll go ahead and go first. So I think my game is different from Louise's because I think I had more intersocial connections with people. I was in more groups. I felt like I was relaying Louise a bunch of information that I was finding out from my one-on-one individual relationships. I felt like I was more strategic and more social than Louise was. I think that I ultimately helped the whole thing with the Alex blindside. I am taking credit for that because I told Louise and the whole Cunty Power Rangers about his power and how we needed to make a move while Jackie was safe for 2 rounds in a row with her wing power. So I felt like, I was willing to make moves in this game. I knew where people were bidding with the Aegis. I saved an ally with money, gave Edward $4, so that he could bid on the Aegis so that he could continue to play the game with me. I was willing to help out allies. I was willing to be loyal, but also make sure that the other side didn't feel like I was against them. I was playing circles around so many people in this game, and I think that is why I am a different player than Louise.
Okay, Louise?
I would argue, I would say more social. Yeah, absolutely. Strategic, I don't know if I would agree with. I think that you say we play similar games in a lot of aspects. I think that's true, but I think I played a little bit. I think Haley kind of hid in the shadows and hid behind her social relationships sometimes, whereas I kind of put myself in the forefront. I was actively telling people what I was going to do, and when I betrayed people, they knew it, and I had to explain why, and I had to fix those relationships, and I had to do damage control over and over again. Whereas I think that I set up a lot of situations where Haley was able to get off scot-free because I wanted to bring her to this point, if I'm being honest with you. I think there are a couple of situations where Haley can be in trouble if I don't set up the pieces that I take the fall for her, because I knew that I could fix those relationships better. I think what we see here is that, yes, I've betrayed people, but I've been open about it. I think everybody knew who I was and what I was doing. And if you didn't try and get me out, that's kind of like, I hate to say because it sounds so cocky, but you didn't get me out. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. You should have taken the shot. Whereas Haley was targeted quite a few times towards the end, and I could have gotten her out at 3, but ultimately I made the decision to bring her here in the hopes that all of those relationships that she had, that she ultimately betrayed, they weren't as close as the ones I had. She was relaying information to me, yes, but that also meant that I didn't need to fracture those relationships. So I feel like in a lot of ways, I acted as a shield and also was shielded by Haley. So in terms of those are the differences. I think I was more out there, and I think Haley was a little bit more under the radar.
Okay, next question. You both, I have heard, were given money at different points in the game to buy an Aegis. One of those nights was the night I went home. I was told that, Luis, you got the EC2 Aegis.
Mhm.
Why did you not tell me that you had the money to buy the Aegis that night? Why did we still split the vote that night?
Well, I mean, personally, I don't think. I mean, I think that I speak for both me and Haley when she said it in her opening speech, but we were blindsided by you going home. I think we had this easy peasy lemon squeezy. All we had to do was make sure that Josh didn't have the Aegis, and then we'd be fine because he was going to have the maximum amount of votes because we assumed that people were voting with us that we didn't. And I think that we were both humbled by that situation, and we both was like, okay, that's not going to happen again. So had I also had a banking power, and I didn't want people to target me because of how much money I had. So I wasn't openly advertising to everybody how much money I had at that point. Had I known that your name was on the table, I probably would have done something about it, but I didn't. And that was one of the few votes, if not the only vote. I had no idea what was happening.
And Haley, you knew that the Aegis was going to be bought by Luis that night.
Yes, I'm basically every round I was strategizing with people of who was going to get the Aegis win so that we can make sure that our targets went home every single round. And so I knew that they were going to get the Aegis or that they were going to bid for the Aegis. I ended up bidding for the Aegis 2 times this season. I was also blindsided by
But it was your plan to split the vote.
Right.
And you came up with who split the vote. So once you knew that we had the Aegis on our group of cunty Power Rangers, we really shouldn't have split the vote.
Well,
okay.
I didn't know your name was up and that you were going to go
One
home.
final question. If you could remove a juror, both of you, who would you remove quickly?
That's
Luis,
so
you can go first since Haley went first the first time.
I think that I would probably choose Cody because he was very upset with me on the way out, and I think that that might be a guaranteed vote for Haley.
I would choose Hippie because no one knew where Hippie's head is at. I don't know what Hippie would do. Hippie was the only vote for me this entire season. So that's my reasoning.
All right. Thank you. Good luck. And I'm proud of both of you for making it this far.
Thank you.
Thank you, Slater. Okay. Well, Alex may show up in a bit, but for now, that would be our phase 1 jurors. Phase 2, first out, we had a ray of sunshine. Jesse, come ask your question or statement. You got 10 minutes.
I love being compared to a ray of sunshine. Thank you. Did not expect that. Anyways, hello, you two.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I have some questions, obviously. Why else would I be here? I want to hear about my vote from both of you. I want to hear about why it was a good idea because I actually wanted to stick with both of you. So I need to hear about it from both of your perspectives and why it was the best move at that moment. And I'm gonna start with Luis because, yeah.
Yeah, I think that there was a lot of things that you were guarding when we had conversations, and it was hard to exactly pinpoint exactly where you were all the time. And because you weren't as honest with your power in phase 1, at least with me, I kind of was like, okay, well, I don't know exactly who your strongest allies are. We saw an opening where, there was a little bit of chaos leading up to that vote, and we thought nobody's expecting this. This is a chance to weaken who we perceive that you were with, and take out another number and be one step closer. And as well, we didn't exactly know. We knew that you had the heaven and hell power, but exactly the parameters of that, because you hadn't told us the truth in phase 1 about what your power was, we didn't exactly know what it was in phase 2 either. So I think it was just a mixture of things. For what it's worth, I did have you high in my trust rankings during phase 1. It was only thank you. It was only in phase 2 where I was kind of left wondering exactly where you were with me.
Okay.
So Jesse, I feel like we had great conversations. You know, we were in the Return 3 together and we were in the Click together as well. And I think that there wasn't as much of the game conversation that I needed in order to continue to move forward with you, knowing that I had my other connections and my other strong game relationships and the people that I was ultimately loyal to. You were in my plans for a while, but at the end game, I figured that there was a good chance you could have came out of nowhere and just really could have really win this game if you wanted to. And I felt like when you told me about your vote bomb, it kind of just made me think like, what would you do with it? Who would you use it on? What does it actually entail? Because you didn't really explain ultimately exactly when you would use it. And I felt like you could have easily used that against me at any point if you really wanted to. So I felt like you were a very behind the scenes, but also very strategic, not showing that to people and very quiet. And you hold your cards to your chest. And I really adore that in a player as well. So I knew that was a strong quality to have, and that terrified me.
Okay. Um, what is something you learned from me in this game? Both of you. It's important to learn lessons from the jury or slash people you play with. So, I'd like to know, what did I teach you in this game?
You taught me to hold more information. Like, yes, I gave people plenty of information in this game. I mean, that's how you have to play this game to get far, is you have to be very vocal and you have to tell people information and figure out what you guys are going to do because there is a lot of different scenarios in this game, especially because this is Power Grab. It's not like Big Brother Survivor. So you have to plan out a bunch of things. And I think that's something that I learned from you was to give people information, but not give them all the information. And I felt like something else I learned from you personally is that you love cooking and you love Roblox. Period, slay, kitty kitty purr.
Oh my god. Okay. Game wise, I actually would disagree. I think that, and I hope this you don't see this as shade because it's not shade. I think if anything, it taught me to be more open with information because I think that it was your cards being too close to your chest that made you a target at the beginning. And I kind of looked at that and I respected a lot of it because when people straight up asked me, hey, what's your power? I felt a compulsion to tell them, whereas you kind of was just able to be like, I'm playing my own game. Like I ain't gonna say shit. So in one part, I respected that because I think sometimes we can all be too much of people pleasers. On the other side, it also was like, okay, sometimes you need to give a little bit so that you aren't next out the door for no reason. And I think that's the biggest game lesson I learned from you, for sure.
Alrighty, and I'm just gonna ask a fun question because I wouldn't be an annoying juror without one. I need both of you to give me a Taylor Swift song.
Oh, but don't even.
I was waiting for this. I want to say that a Taylor Swift song that I love is New Romantics, and the reason why I say this because it also applies to the game. Baby, I could build a castle out of all the bricks these people have to try to throw at me. Every day in Power Grab was like a battle. Period. Slay.
I'm just gonna be very honest and say that my favorite Taylor Swift song ever is "You're on Your Own, Kid," and I think that it encapsulates just what it is to live in a lot of ways, but also I think you can apply it to the game if that's what you want to apply it to, because truly you can make connections, you can do whatever you want to do, but at the end of the day, this is you and this is your life, and you are always by yourself, and so it's up to you who you put your trust in and the decisions you make, and yeah.
Cool. One last question. Why shouldn't I vote you?
Oh. Hmm. This is difficult.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna say that you shouldn't vote for me because I'm just so perfect. You shouldn't vote for me because perhaps I was a tad too boisterous. Maybe I put myself too far out there, and maybe I didn't have the social connections to always back that up.
I think you shouldn't vote for me because sometimes I feel like I'm not the greatest talker sometimes, and I feel like I maybe should have been more vocal in different situations, but also I wanted to play that, kind of let other people kind of fly too close to the sun, kind of take the heat so that ultimately they would be targeted before me. Because for me, I felt like I had shields in front of me every single round. Um, but I think at the same time, I could have put myself more in a powerful position, more control, instead of kind of taking it back a bit. I feel like I could have been more, for sure.
Alrighty. Thank you for both your answers. I still don't know who I'm voting yet, so keep up the great work. Good luck, both of you. And regardless of what happened, it was great playing with you both, and may the odds be ever or never in your favor.
Yes. Who's Katniss? Who's Peter?
We know.
Yeah,
know
okay.
Do we know?
Brandon, a certain person.
I noticed. Yes.
Oh,
I pay attention half the time, usually. Okay. Thank you, Jesse. We do have another phase 1 juror here. So, Alex, come on down. You're the next contestant.
Woo-woo.
Can I actually? I'm still walking to my car. Can I
Oh.
request someone come
Of
do theirs
course.
before me, and I will catch up with you in a bit?
Well,
Alright.
there's no better substitute for Alex than Jackie. This is fine. Thank you, Jackie.
I'm gonna just say I think it's only fitting that me and Alex swap places. I'm gonna be so fucking for real. When has that never happened? Okay, so actually coming into this, I was going to do something different. I've now swapped because some of your answers are false. Haley, I told you I was voting Slater. You knew that vote was happening. And I think half the jurors need you to accept that because you told people that you knew about the Slater vote happening. And people need to see you take responsibility for that because I told you about that vote and someone else in the jury said that you told them you knew about the vote.
Are you talking about when you told me right before it happened? Because I heard you say something about Slater, but it felt like it might have been like that's what you were doing, but I didn't know that a bunch of people were going to do it. Like I didn't know that he was going to go home.
Right, but I think the point is that you knew he was getting votes. You knew his name was thrown out there, and I think Slater it was a little upset that he didn't even know his name was out there.
Right. Well, I felt like there wasn't enough votes for him to go, so I didn't even realize that's a fault on my end, of course, but I felt like there was nothing I could have done to save him.
Okay. My thing that I will use the leftover time with is I need you guys to talk about if there were any ECs where you guys did not vote together and if the other person knew about it. So if you voted someone else, like Haley, I don't think you voted Alex. Did Louise know you weren't voting Alex? Or was there like
You did.
I did vote Alex. That was gonna be a
okay.
part of my closing. But I voted Alex because essentially I obviously knew about the Underwear power and I went straight to the Cunty Power Rangers and I told them all about his power and how that while you were going to be safe at EC, that was a perfect opportunity to take a shot at one of your closest allies. And I felt like voting him, but then also having people in my corner to keep my lie, to tell other people, oh, Haley voted this way. So Hippie was essentially a scapegoat for me that round because people thought Hippie did it, not me. And so you still didn't even know until just now. And I felt like telling you guys afterwards that it wasn't me. I wanted to keep both sides not knowing what I was doing. And I think it worked well, obviously. I'm here.
I hate doing this when you're like, actually, but I do want to say that the Hippie being the scapegoat was me. Like I that was my plan. because you essentially came straight up to me and was like, what happened? And I was on call with Haley, and I was on call with, I think, Edward and Cody were both there, and I said, this is like stupid, we can't just sever this relationship. So I could sever this relationship with you, but if Haley was still being in touch with you, then that's still an ear to the ground where you are for me. So I said, well, fuck it, Hippie's not here to discredit me. Hippie is my best friend, by the way. You know what I mean? I've never spoken more than 2 sentences to Hippie. God bless her soul wherever she is. I'm a hippie dipper for life, though.
Oh God. Okay, so with the final 6 minutes, are there any other like vote? Like, did you guys talk to each other about every single vote? Like,
I would say that we did. I think we had separate conversations, but I don't think there was a part where we weren't on the same page. Did you say 4?
no, that was Cody. Cody, mute yourself. It is my time to shine, Cody.
'Cause
Technically, it's Alex's, but
I was about to say actually, there was 2 times where we did have disagreements. The first was at 5, where I wanted to keep Cody, in all honesty, because I felt like Cody was gonna take me to the end. And Haley wanted to get rid of Cody because of the power. I wasn't in danger with that power. I felt good about it, but Haley insisted, so I went along with it as a sign of good faith, because in honesty, I felt like I was in a good position either way. It was just a personal point of preference. And then so I went with Haley there, and then at 4, Haley wanted to do Cody, and I had talked to Cody, and I wanted Edward to go because I felt like Edward had played one of the best, if not the best game at that point. I know that having been in the quiz before, he was obviously going to be studying. We didn't know how much money he had entirely, because we didn't know how much money he gave to Cody. And I felt like it was the better option to take Edward out there, whereas Haley still wanted to do Cody. And I asked her to trust in me. I felt like I had a good chance to win the quiz. And honestly, I felt that that was going to set up my final 3 either way. So I did push a little bit hard to do it. And Haley did do it, and we're here. So those were the big, I would say, the more tumultuous votes where we weren't entirely on the same page.
Right. Like I felt like at that point, I knew me and Michael had a final 2. So I felt like at that point I wanted to keep him around because I didn't feel like Cody would have taken me. I felt like I had a better chance to beat Michael compared to Cody, especially because Cody had his name around since the very beginning. Like his name was always out. He caught a lot of votes, and I felt like that was a threat. And I just felt like I was loyal to Michael, and I thought he was loyal to me as well. And so that's why I wanted to keep him, and essentially got Louise to vote that way. And I think that after that, I felt super betrayed by Edward in Final Four. We had a whole conversation about it in the forum privately. Like it was a whole thing, but that's ultimately why I decided to use my peanut butter and jelly power on him. And I felt like, okay, well, if he can't vote against me because I did beat him at the challenge, then why should I vote him? But then ultimately I was like, if Edward gets to that quiz, he's already prepared for it. He already knows how he's already experienced. And I felt like he didn't piss anybody off, just like I didn't really piss people off. But so I felt like he was a huge contender to win this game. A lot of people were saying on their way out that Edward was going to win the game. And so at that point, I also wanted to trust Louise as well. And I felt like Edward going at that point was going to be a good idea. Plus, I heard that he like gave Cody a lot of money or something. But so I knew that Edward was going to take Cody to the end and not me.
For my last 3 minutes, my final question, because I love to waste time, is I'm not 100% sure that this was your ideal final 2. Maybe it was. But my question for you is that if this was not your ideal final 2, out of the people in the game, who do you think would have been your ideal final 2?
I mean, is it appropriate to say like Hippie? Like, I mean, Hippie would be number 1, astronomically in front. The reason why I ended up with this final 2 in the first place, obviously I had the power to choose, is because ultimately I think we all face those moments where you have to think about your head and your heart, and there was a big conflict. I think that I put myself in the best final 3 to be taken. I didn't expect to win the quiz necessarily, right? So I ultimately went with my heart, but I also believed enough in my own game that I felt that I had a chance either way. So I would be sitting next to Hippie if I had the absolute choice of anyone would cast. I doubt anybody else would say any different. But I don't think this is necessarily the worst final two for me, but I don't think it's the greatest for me either. But I wanted to get here to plead my case.
Yeah, so for a while of the game, I wanted to essentially go to the end with Edward and Michael. That was going to be my final three. I felt like Michael 100% would have taken me, but I also felt like I could have beaten them at the quiz. I felt like I could have beaten both of them at the quiz. But then I started realizing that everyone was catching on to Edward's game, and I started to open my eyes more to Edward's game. And then I was like, I felt like I was being blinded by the connection that I felt like me and him had and the close relationship that we had. Because as soon as the night one call ended, we hopped on call and we were like, we're gonna work together, we're gonna do this. And I just felt like I wanted to be loyal to him. But then when he told me to my face that I ran circles around people in this game and that I haven't pissed people off and that people have been taking the heat and not me, I felt like he was telling me my own game to my face, and I was very intimidated by that. So that's why I ended up not going that route. But I knew that if Louise made it to the final three with me, I knew that if Louise won the quiz, they were going to take me. And I felt like a big move that I made this entire season was choosing Louise as my partner, because I knew that Louise was going to be someone who would be loyal, who would have helped me increase my own social capital. And that's exactly what I did. And I knew at the end of the day that they would have taken me. However, I don't necessarily fully believe that I would have taken them. And I say that because at Final Four, if it was me, Michael, Edward, and Louise, I would have cut Louise, and then I would have been in the final three, and then I would have been able to differentiate my game from Louise's.
Period, Slay. How long can I use the 30 seconds up for? Just get as much screen time as I can. I hope to see both of you apply to my mini. Get some advertisement in there. Because if you don't apply, I will be sending the app as soon as this is over. That includes everyone else in the Zoom. Oh God, 12 seconds. Fuck. Oh, you're recording this. Oh well, that's too late. Anyway, yeah, I yield my 5 seconds.
Bye, Mother Fried Oreos.
I love her.
That was very kind of you, Jackie, to yield those 5 seconds. We need that time. Okay. Next up, Alex, are you ready? You prepared? No, driving. Is that a yes? Okay, Alex is hopping on. Woo woo.
That's a yes. I can drive and stuff. Am I good? Okay. Congrats on making final two, guys. I will warn you, this jury chat has turned me into a bit of a bitter juror. So a lot's been going on, but we don't need to get into that now. Haley, I have some stuff for you first. I wasn't really listening when Jackie was going. So first of all, I just want a yes or no answer. Did you know I was going home when I did?
Yes.
Okay. So you and I talked a lot about, we were both the 9th placers in our previous seasons. We were both the players that just missed out on phase 2. And we talked a lot about both of us making it to phase 2 together. And then I hear all this stuff about how you did whatever you did to get me out in 9th place, same place as before, 1 spot right below phase 2. And I did hear something about, like, you thought I was using my underwear power, which we both know that's a lie, because I told you multiple times I wanted to make it through the entire phase 1 without using that. So my question is for you first, and this isn't a yes or no, so you can answer however you want, is, given all of that and how much getting to phase 2 meant for me, because that was my only goal in the game, and I feel like you knew that, why should I personally vote for you?
Yeah, so I felt horrible doing that because I knew that we both got out at 9th place before going into phase 2, and that was my first goal, was getting to phase 2. At that point, I just felt like, since Jackie was safe for 2 rounds in a row, and I was very intimidated by Jackie and by, the group of that you guys had, with Josh and Gluck, and I felt like that would have been a perfect opportunity for me to make a move this game, to say that I did that, and that I gave a lot of information to the Cunty Power Rangers by telling them a bunch of other people's powers. And I felt like I told them about your power. And I essentially thought that if you were going to play it, because you never know in these games if people are going to play powers or not. You're saying that you weren't going to play it, but you at that point, I never really knew if you were 100%. And so my honest truth was I felt like you were going to play it on Edward or Cody, and I wanted to keep them both in because those are people that I was loyal to. And so at that point, I felt like I was, I really wanted to be more offensive with not having to use my powers, but then other people's powers. And I felt like I wanted to get out people whose powers were very effective. And so that's ultimately why I did that. And I know that it sucks and it probably hurts. And that was never my intention at all. I just know how well of a player that you are and the connections that you did have. And I felt like if you would have made it super far into phase 2, there was a good chance you could have been sitting here and not me.
Well, my power ran out that round. And I told you a lot of times about how like I had no money and I just wanted the money from that. So you saying like there was a chance I could use my power, there was really no reason for me to use it at that time. So I'm just a little confused by that.
You could have used it if you wanted to. I just felt like I said before, you and Jackie were a great pair, I think you guys worked great together. I think you guys would have done a lot. I think you guys would have probably been me and Louise sitting here if you guys both were in phase 2 together. And so that's why I saw the opportunity and I took it. I saw something that I wanted and I took it. And that's why I made that move. And I know that it sucks and it probably hurts because I would have felt the same way. But I hope you know that it was just strategic and that I had to do what I had to do in order to get to this spot.
Mm-hmm. All right. Only other thing, I need to distinguish your guys' games a little more. So, I want both of you to give me something about your game that the other person does not know. Either person can start. I feel like you guys may have said some of the stuff already, but just you can reiterate if you need to.
Yeah.
I got the jury bump since the beginning, and I never told Louise that I had it. I made them think that Jackie could have had it, or someone could have passed it down to Michael or to Cody or whoever. And I just felt like that was something that I wanted to keep to myself because if you tell people you have the jury bump, they easily could have just gotten rid of you just so that you could possibly send it to them. So that's something that I didn't tell Louise.
I do want to say, I did actually kind of know, like, I'm not gonna say I had it absolutely confirmed, but I had my big, like, huge suspicions. And I even said to Haley, and I said this after I evicted Cody, and I said, Haley, I'm taking you to 22. I said, Haley, did you have the jury bump? And she said, no, I don't. And I think the thing that distinguishes our game is precisely that. And this isn't meant to drag, but when I lied, it was for a reason. And sometimes I don't always believe that Haley lied for a reason. I think that my game was more of I'm not gonna say honest because I lied. I lied through my teeth. I lied to you, but I didn't promise you things that were, I didn't promise anyone a final 2 other than Haley, and I'm here sitting next to her. I didn't promise mountainous things. The only person else I said I wouldn't take to final 2 was Cody, and I had to do that to secure my spot at final 3. I think ultimately I was ready to cut ties a little more straightforwardly with people when I was ready to move and shift. And I think the big part that really is different that Haley probably doesn't know is that even specifically your vote, I really, really wanted you gone, Alex, because you were a relationship that I knew was stronger for Haley than me. And I guess I kind of wanted, this is going to sound really messed up, but I kind of wanted Haley and I to have almost like a toxic relationship where she had no one but to lean on but me. By like getting rid of everybody else, it was only me she could have. And so by severing her relationship with you and allowing only her to really have Jackie and Michael, it really strengthened her bond to me, which I think is a big part of why we're here. And why I think that we were able to maneuver throughout the game so effectively was every time she mentioned, because she did say you had the underwear power. I think had she not said that, she probably would have been able to keep you longer because I would have almost allowed that relationship longer. Again, that sounds so messed up. It sounds like a very toxic, abusive relationship. But I promise, in the game context, I just wanted to have as minimal options other than me, if that makes sense. And that was something I obviously never publicly stated to her.
All right. I'll wait the rest of my time. I'm not like personally mad at either of you. just game mad, but that's how it be sometimes. I have a lot to think about, and yep, see you guys after.
That is how it be sometimes. Well, next up, I'm going to use my amazing info power that's so great to make Edward ask or make a statement to our final two. Edward, you're the next juror.
I'm fucking dead. This fucking guy.
I guess I lied about my info power. Edward, do you have anything to say? No?
Well, what happened about the bum on the bus? The bum on the bus, the bum on the bus. Whatever happened to the bum on the bus?
Oh, that was so funny.
Justice for info powers. Okay. Well, with that being said, we're down to our last juror. Cody, bring us home here, please, and thank you. I will say again, Cody, you're the next up. I think Cody was banking on Edward taking more than 8 seconds.
And sure was. I am amazing at multitasking. So we're gonna try and do two things at once here. So I'm going to first start off by saying congratulations to the both of you. You played amazing games to get here. I might have questions of things. Those can be handled after the fact. I came into today wanting to firstly not give Louise the opportunity to even say anything. You did not give me the chance to speak and talk about my game, so why should I give you time to talk about yours? However, this questioning period is more than just for me. It is for the remainder of the jury. And I am not that selfish. I think that the rest of the jurors deserve an opportunity to hear the full dynamic of both of your games. So for that reason, I would like for, even though I know the answer to this I would like for both of you to kind of talk about your phase 1 and phase 2 powers, how you use them or did not use them to your advantage, and whether or not you had to lie to people about them.
You want to go first or me?
Yeah, mine's a lot more basic. So my phase 1 power was the Bert and Ernie, and it was a banking power that said if I was able to predict who successfully went home, I would be able to steal their will and take a portion of it, essentially. I think the way that I maximized that was, again, things kind of got crazy the closer it got to the vote. And so I wasn't always able to make the correct decision, like round 1 predicting hippie. I think anyone would have made that mistake, but I think maximizing the amount of money that I had, along with getting quite a few bounties out, because I was able to really do what fitted me strategically as well with going my bounties, just maximizing those and trying to get as much money as I possibly could. And I think that really set me up well. Considering that in phase 2, I had the pear, as in the fruit, the poisonous pears, which said that I could pay $10 and receive $36 if I was willing to put 4 votes against me. Now, at the final 8, that was something that I was just not willing to do. And so I had the option also to give the power back and get my money back for the power if I gave it back before 12 p.m., which is something I almost instantly did. I didn't want to risk any more votes on me, but I think it says something that I didn't have a banking power or really any kind of power for phase 2, considering I had to give it back within the 12 hours of getting it. And I made it to phase 3 and I had $19 going into the quiz, the second most amount of money, having also just given Haley, $10, and I was giving money to my allies as well. I think that really maximizing that phase 1 power really set me up well for the middle phase and the end phase of this game. Thank you, Cody, for the time. Yeah.
Hey Cody, just want to say first and foremost, looking good, period. Um, you would have gotten me in trouble if you, never mind. Um, if we weren't gay. But anyways, so my phase one power was nunchucks, and I wasn't completely honest about it. I touched on that in my opening speech. I had the ability to propel votes from two different players that if they casted against me, but I would have to have votes casted against me. If I didn't, the huge risk would have been that I would have essentially would have been the person that would have had the second most votes compared to the first person. So essentially, I would have made a tie. So I knew I did not want to play that because that's a huge risk, and I didn't want to tell people that so that, they could target me for that. That's a crazy power. And so I didn't have to use it at all. I wasn't targeted at all phase one. I didn't have to use my phase one power, and so I didn't use it. I got character buyback going into phase two with a lot of money because I got $9 from Michael in phase one. I got $4, $5, $4 from Jackie, and then $3 from Louise. And so going into phase two, I had pretty good amount of money. And then in phase two, I had the peanut butter and jelly. As you know, final four, I used it. And I didn't want to use it until I felt like I probably had to. I felt super betrayed by Edward at that moment. And so on a game level and personal. And so I felt like it was probably smart to play it on him. And I did, and I beat him at it. That was the only time I had to use a power. I was able to really benefit in this game by making other people use their powers on other people and not me. And take out people who had very effective, very powerful powers that I was intimidated by. And so, phase two, I had the peanut butter and jelly and I used it, and I had to do a competition singing peanut butter jelly time. And there was like three judges, and they judged based off of effort, energy, and what was it, like creativity or something like that. And so basically I won, and he couldn't vote for me for the rest of the phase. And I didn't use it until the very last round. If I would have used it before, then Edward couldn't have voted for me at all the entire second phase. But I wanted to keep it because I kind of wanted that extra money going into the quiz. But at the same time, I felt like Edward was someone who we all eventually voted out because he was a huge contender to win this game. And so I used it on him. I beat him. I did what I needed to do. And then after that, I got through. He didn't even vote me out. He ended up voting for Louise. And then I made it to the quiz and then got taken to the end.
Thank both of you. I have 3 minutes. Am I able to ask another question?
You can use
Okay.
the 3 minutes any way you want to.
Perfect. Let's talk about how much you knew of other people's powers, whether of them opening that up to you or you finding that out via another player. Because I feel like that's also a very important aspect of the game. Try and limit it to like a minute each.
Okay, I'll go first real quick. So I had a whole spreadsheet the entire game. I marked down everybody's powers. I knew that there was going to be there was a certain amount of voting powers in the game, certain amount of safety powers, altering, baking, and so I just went on calls with people, and I was being the social butterfly that I know that I am. And so people opened up to me. They told me about their powers. I obviously told other people, but also kept some for myself because other people ended up finding out, and then they were able to confirm it to me to figure out that if they were lying or not. I knew the information that people had of their powers. I had it all in my computer. So that's what I was able to try to figure out what the fake 4 character cards were, what kind of powers were going to be in phase two. And so people opened up to me, and then I also found out from other people whenever I would ask them, hey, do you know so and so's power? Like me and Jackie would talk about that all the time. I know Jackie and me were like on the phone. I think it was like our last phone call that we had, and she basically was confirming to me the powers that I already knew about.
Yeah, so if I wasn't directly told, I found out about it probably through Haley. I didn't have the luxury of being as active as other people in the cast, considering that I'm on a different continent. It's 1:30 in the morning for reference, right? So I didn't always have the time to get on calls with people. Had I been able to, I think I'd been able to probably probe a little bit more. But if I wasn't directly told, which I was, I think for a few, my memory is not as great. Then I was definitely told through, I think either Haley or you, Cody, or Edward most likely told me. I think Jackie also told me about one, but I forgot. I'm so sorry. End.
Congratulations again to the both of you. I only have one last thing to say. Go Cunty Rangers.
That's so true.
Period. I just realized I was muted. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say the C word. Even though I've said it a bunch of times on the after show. Okay, so here we are. Our jurors have asked their questions. They have made their statements. And now it comes down to Haley and Louise. You have one last chance to sway the jury with your closing statements. Yeah. Haley, you are up first.
Alrighty, here we go. First and foremost, I just want to say thank you for all the questions, comments, concerns that you had for both me and my competitor sitting next to me, Louise. I hope that with my opening speech that you guys were able to watch yesterday, as well as the questions that you were able to have a better understanding of my game that I played this season. How much of a hand that I had at people's eliminations, weaponizing people's Aegis bids, using other powers in phase 1 while not having to use my own, as well as not having to play my phase 2 power until the bitter end. I also utilized the versus twist this season. I told Louise and a bunch of other people that I didn't want to vote Michael or Hippie out before phase 2 because I knew that we would get that $20 for being the last pair standing, and we could have easily been targeted for that. I strongly believe that I will be a great representation of Season 9 Power Grab, Flops, and Friends. I am overwhelmed with so much happiness and so much appreciation that I've enjoyed this experience. I was playing the game before the game even started. As soon as I got the opportunity to return to this game, I knew what I needed to do. I was able to anticipate what my target's moves were going to be so that I could counter their expectations and their moves to work against them so that it backfired. I planned my strategy around people's powers and had the capital to build myself into under the radar middle ground position to go either way I wanted. I was satisfied by every vote out, even if I didn't know about it. Slater's, he would have had to go eventually at some point. Everyone was going to have to go for me to get into this position. This type of game I knew was my element. Competitions are not my forte. So I knew that getting the experience and then playing a second time that I was able to be myself and be that social butterfly. Regardless of the outcome that happens tonight, even if I don't win, I already felt like I've won. When you're going to cast your vote tonight for a winner, think about who you truly believe deserves to be crowned as the winner who had the ability to have the social network, gain a bunch of money, used it when needed to, implemented every part of this game that they could, put everything that they could into this game, worked their ass off, my blood, sweat, and tears, who was willing to take risk and make moves in this game when it wasn't a usual format that we're all used to. I had the jury booked the entire time, like I said, and I did not tell Louise about it. I easily could have been seen as a huge target in the beginning, but I wasn't. I was on prod for the past 2 seasons, and I was able to experience and see a bunch of different things that I was able to implement in my game. I had shields all over this game, and I didn't fly too close to the sun. Instead, I would love to fly to the winner's circle. I have made a lot of competing arguments throughout this final EC and throughout my entirety of the game. The biggest move that I made happen before the game even started was picking Louise to be my partner. I picked someone who I knew could increase my social capital, play a good game like myself, and in the end would choose me to be the final 2. They said that they should win over me because of Alex's blindside in the opening speech, but y'all wouldn't have known about that power if I didn't tell you. That he was going to play it on Edward and Cody. I definitely am the huge reason why that blindside even happened. I saw what I wanted and I went for it. I also told the group that I felt like Jackie and Michael were close. I pushed that narrative. I pushed a bunch of different narratives in this game, and it was confirmed that it was true. I lied about voting Alex to everyone else because I wanted them to believe that I was still on their side and I wasn't against them while also staying loyal to my core group. I didn't ask Louise, Edward, Cody to keep my lie. They continued to do that for me because they trusted me and that they wanted me in their game. And so she was, like I said, she was a scapegoat for my game, and also voting Jesse out during the regular vote and the revote. I never flipped. I was planning to do that the entire time. I think that's why I deserve to win this game. I was very well-rounded, and I put so much time and effort into this game. I would message people constantly, even when I was working. I never gave up, and I knew that my name was never a topic of discussion to ever get voted out. That's why the only vote that I got this season went from someone who wasn't even active. I didn't give 100% in this game. I gave 110% in this game. I am starving for this fucking win, and I came in here not only as a returnee, but as someone, like I said, who was on prod. I had a harder path to get here, and I succeeded. Louise said so in their opening speech that people kept saying that these were the rising contenders. Edward was going to win. Haley was going to win. Jackie was going to win. If that's the case, why not get me out? It was too late at that point. In my opening speech, I didn't talk about Louise as much because I had my own plans, and to leave Louise out of. I had my own connections with other people because it was best for my game. If it was best for my game, I would have voted them out. These were the times where I was willing to sit next to Michael or Edward. This experience will be something that I will never forget, and I am so blessed to have been a part of this cast, and I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. I wouldn't have been here without each and every one of you making an impact on me. So thank you so much. I love you all, and I really hope you vote for me to win tonight. Thank you.
Do I just start or okay, I'm just gonna start. First of all, yeah, of course, thank you to production, thank you to everybody on the cast. This has truly been a unique season, and I don't have a speech or anything because I like to address, I think, what we've kind of all just talked about. I think that everything that Haley says is true, you know, as a returning player and as someone who'd flopped previously, someone who'd been on prod, you know, I'm sure that there were challenges that came with that, but I'm sure there was also a lot of things that came very naturally and easy. I came into this not knowing what the hell this was, and honestly, one of my greatest abilities is being able to just adapt on the fly. I think I took to this game like a duck on water. I think that there was nothing that I wasn't dedicated to do. This was not the greatest time-wise for me to play, considering that EC every night was at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 a.m. my time, and I wouldn't go to bed until 4 or 5 in the morning sometimes. So I was completely dedicated to being here to make sure every single thing that I wanted to happen happened. I never, ever missed an EC, ever. I knew who was going home every single time, bar once, which was Slater, and I even knew there was a possibility for Michael to go at 5 instead of Cody. I felt it in my bones. There was nothing that I didn't try to do. I always stuck my neck out, and I think there's a lot of things that can be said from Haley. Yes, did people protect her with a lie? Yes, but who made up the lie? Who made up the plan? So I could keep my communication open. I saw who trusted her because she was open with me. I think Haley's biggest mistake was not getting me out when she probably should have. I don't think that it's a weakness that I brought Haley here. I really don't, because I honestly believe that I can stand here and be confident and say why I believe that I should win. I think that I've done a tremendous job. I really, really do. I think that I, as a new person who really didn't have pre-existing relationships coming in, I had my partner and I knew Edward, and that was it. And it was so hard to hear everybody talk, especially when I were on calls with people and they'd be like, oh, this person, this person, this person. I had no idea who any of you were. But I managed to make the social relationships that I needed to. I built them strong. The ones that when I said I had your back, I had your back. If I said I was taking you to the final two, unless you were Cody, I'm so sorry, Cody. You definitely scathed me and I definitely deserved it. That I said it for a reason. I think that one of my strengths is the ability to say what I want and then going through with it. While Haley also has that strength, I don't think it was always best for her. She talks about how her getting Alex out was her idea, but in reality, when she shared the underwear power with our group, it became evident who would be targeted by it, and that's why Alex should have gone. Alex was a number for Haley, not a number for me. Alex left, I got that bounty, I got that money, and I had $10 going in my pocket from that round alone. I maximized my power when I could, so as I went into the quiz, despite having just given money out so people would trust me in certain situations, I was able to start the quiz with $19. And I did. I underestimated how much I was studying to everybody, but here's the reality of the situation. I had to push Haley up until the last minute to the point where I had to scramble with her to convince her to vote out Edward, because I knew that Edward was never taking me. He had told me it was true. We scrambled because of that, Haley. We did. You would wanted Cody still gone, and you know that's true in your heart because we wouldn't have scrambled otherwise. Cody was good for me because Cody was taking me to the end. Edward had been talking about how I had just beat him in another game that I had just won recently, and he didn't want to face against me because of that. But here's the reality of the situation. I was in that quiz that I did not need to win purely because I knew that I could. And that's it. There was not a point. Yes, okay, I had votes against me, but count them, there's not many. I was never in danger of going home, despite the fact that there were times where I probably should have. And I honestly believe that I have been so dedicated, so ready to play. I think do you know what? I can sum it up when Haley says that one of her best decisions in this game was choosing me as her partner. I think that is so true because I know my worth and I know how good I can be when I want to be. And I have believed in myself from the moment this game has started. And I have worked so hard to get what I wanted to happen every round. And I did it through compromising at times, from putting my foot down when I needed to, and ultimately getting the job done whenever I could. I made up lies, yes, but they were always necessary. There was no reason to lie to me about the jury bump when we were the only two left. Like, I have to say that. I didn't understand that. But when it was time for the lie to be over, the lie was over. Period. I didn't want to make these strong relationships with promises just to break them because I know how that feels. And in all honesty, had Haley won that quiz and looked me in the eyes and cut me, that would have hurt. And I really didn't want to believe that she would. But here we are. When I make a promise to someone, I try so hard to keep it. I even took the people that I knew in Cody and Edward. I knew there was a chance they would beat me. I still took them as far as I could. And when Haley used her power on Edward to negate that vote, I knew I was in danger. And Cody confirmed it to me. And when he said, Edward wants to blindside you now. So what do? I turn it around. Edward goes home. I made it here because of my own power, strategic ability, social ability, and will. And that's it. And I'm very proud of the game I played. I don't want to discredit Haley because I think she's done an amazing job. But when I think about it, do I think she did a better job than me? I guess that's up for you to decide. I think I played a game worthy of being the winner of this season. Coming in as a newbie, hardly knowing anyone, not knowing the format. I think I fucking nailed it. Thank you so much. I love you all despite what you may think of me. Honestly, I don't think I had a bad relationship here. And this one was for Gluck. 2 non-men. There we go.
You did it for Gluck. That's very near and dear to my heart. Wow. Thank you to our final 2. You both gave amazing speeches. You have both played amazing games. I genuinely feel like either of you would be a deserving winner of this season. It's been amazing watching you. Thank you to the jury and everyone who played this season. Thank you for your questions and for your time. And now the power goes over to the jury. To the jury, you will be casting your vote, in the words of Marissa Cox, for who you want to win. I will say again, you were voting for who you want to win. Over to you, Jeremy.
Yes, so we have a breakout room. Right now, Paige and Esteban should both be there.
I'm not there yet, but I will
okay.
be there shortly.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have been able to answer me if you were. So fair enough. So Paige will pull you all one by one into the jury booth. You will state who you are voting for to win and why. Meanwhile, Abby and I believe, are going to host the PGB final. So if you won a game of PGB this season, you are welcome to come on camera. Everybody else, you're good to go off camera.
And that basically goes down to Lawrence, Al, AJ, Wesley, Brandon, Seb, and Megan. I don't think
I know you're wondering why I brought you all here today, and that's because I'm gonna tell you why I should win Power Grab Season 9. I'm gonna mute now.
Got my vote.
Okay. So who all is here? Final 2, you can stay on
Got
camera.
Brandon, Al, Megan, LJ, Lawrence. Come on, Cam.
Well, I think. Oh shit! Let me find.
I can do both. I just have to write.
Disable my camera. I'll get up.
Wesley.
Yeah. Shoot. Can I turn Lawrence's camera back on? Oh, ask to start video. You should be able to turn it back on now, Lawrence. Okay.
Okay. I think Seb said he was on his way. So
Also, no one ever answered my question about how long this goes.
I did. It's as long as the jurors take the vote. Okay. It could be 10 minutes. It could be an hour. We don't.
Okay. So I can be here for 15 minutes.
Okay. Why don't I do the randomizer part? Or if everybody read the rules, right?
Eh.
Yeah.
I've got it pulled up
Oh,
already. It's
oh
randomized.
shit. I didn't read the rules.
I skim them.
You're on
Well, we're
productions,
gonna
by
we're
the
gonna
way.
go over it anyway.
Them.
We're gonna go over it anyway. So basically, everybody except for Al and Lawrence have 1 life. Al and Lawrence have 2. We're gonna start with the first game that I have here, the randomizer. It's Megan first. Megan, you are going to pick somebody to go against you.
Someone to go against me.
You describe the game first, Abby. You read the entire description, and then
Who
she
has
picks.
2 lives?
Alan Lawrence. So we randomized all of the games that we've played this season. So we're starting with This Is That. So Megan, once you pick somebody, I have 3 pictures of animal morphs. And each of these morphs contain 2 different animals. The first person to guess the animal will get a point. If you guess first and you are incorrect, hang on, I'm trying to read Jeremy's writing. If you guess first and you are incorrect, your opponent gets the point. First player to 2 points wins.
How do you guess?
So you can just
Out loud.
Words,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Type over Zoom?
words.
No, out loud. Just say out loud. Because if you're the first one to
The
answer
spoken
and you're
word.
wrong, you
The
lose.
spoken
So
word.
Yep.
Sorry, I said
So,
words,
Megan,
I
who's your
assume.
opponent?
Oh. So I'm just guessing who the 2 animals are in the morph. Okay. I'm
10
gonna
seconds.
pick who's playing?
10
You.
seconds or you're eliminated. For real.
Yo, what the fuck? I literally just is Brandon playing? I'm gonna pick Brandon. Can I
Yes,
pick
Brandon.
You knew you were
everybody
gonna
who's on
do that
cam.
too. In the words of Megan, fuck off.
Wow.
Is Brandon
Okay,
playing?
you're good to go, Abby.
Okay, first morph.
Oh wait,
Take off your blur
I need to
background.
turn
Take
this
off your
on
blur
your
background.
phone.
need-
That is such bullshit.
I need my glasses.
We're on a time crunch here. Shut up.
Uh-huh.
I can't see what that is at
Yeah,
all.
that is
Get-
terrible,
I can't
Abby.
see
There's
that.
no way in hell.
You gotta
that's
lower your
happening.
brightness. Lower the brightness like a lot.
It's broccoli, guys. It's broccoli.
It's a kangaroo and a lion.
Period.
I can't
Okay,
fucking see it. No,
What you
this
did
is
for going
rigged.
against me. God damn.
hang
Nope.
on.
Lower the
You could have made a
brightness.
slideshow.
An octopus and an eagle. It's a
That's-
dog and an eagle.
Brandon, you got it.
I can't see this.
Well, you're eliminated, so you don't have to say it anymore.
No, I'm not. Redo. This is rigged.
Too late. We gotta keep moving. We don't
Okay.
have time.
On to the next.
You
Jeremy.
chose to go against me. It was a bad idea.
It is what he can see better than you. It's a random game.
It's not that he can see better, it's that it's unfair because you can't even see the picture.
Well,
Well,
he
you're
can see
right.
the picture. That's why he got them right.
Could anyone else?
Sorry,
see that
Megan.
It's
one?
fine. It's
Yes.
fine. We're moving on. Megan is out.
Okay, so next we're doing karaoke. So I'm going to randomize
It better
Al.
be Lawrence. Oh.
So
This
for
one's
this
top
prompt
two.
only, there will be 2 players selected by the randomizer that will be paired up. These 2 players will choose another 2 players to be paired up. Each pair will have 30 seconds to put on their best performance of I Got You, Babe. If you don't know the song, make something up. Whichever pair is declared the winner by the audience is safe. The losing pair will both lose a life. If the audience is too close to call, I'll determine the winner. So the
Are we
first
sure this
one
isn't
was
going to be
Al.
a popularity contest?
The
It will
first
be.
First one is Al and Seb. So that's the first pair. You guys pick the other 2. You got 10 seconds to pick.
Who do we want?
Or you're eliminated.
Let's do who has points? Oh my god.
LJ and
Let's do LJ and Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Shouldn't go against Lawrence. He made a mistake.
Challenging
Who,
Lawrence.
who
in
else are we
karaoke?
choosing? Who else are we choosing?
Literally. I don't even know who has points and who doesn't.
Can we choose Brandon?
Oh,
You
we
already
could.
chose
It's
Lawrence,
LJ and
so-
Lawrence. We're going.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I don't see Lawrence on screen.
That's gonna make it hard for LJ to duet.
Also, I have never heard this song. I've
On
never
that
heard this
note,
song.
Seb and Al, go ahead. You're first.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
Babe.
I got you,
Got you,
babe.
babe.
Dun, dun, dun,
Dun,
dun.
Can we
dun,
eliminate one of you?
dun, dun.
I got you, babe.
I got you, babe.
That's incorrect. I got you, babe. I don't know the
I'm
verses,
fucking
but I
dead.
can do the chorus.
They say we're young and
thesaurus.
we don't
The
know.
chorus.
We won't find out until we grow. Because I
All right,
don't know.
y'all are done. Lawrence and LJ.
Lawrence, let's
you
do it.
may begin.
Lawrence, let's do it. You ready, Lawrence? They say you're young and we don't know. We won't find out until we grow. Well, I don't know if that's all true, 'cause you got me and babe. I got you, babe. I got you, babe, Lawrence. Lawrence, please. This is all I got.
You have 2 lives.
They say our love won't pay the rent.
All right,
We'll
time.
return
Wait,
our
what's that
money's all
tune?
spent.
LJ, what's the tune you're singing?
Time
Okay.
for the audience
I don't
to
even
vote.
know.
Just yell out loud either Al or LJ, whichever
You're
name
singing
we hear
Summer
more
Lovin',
wins.
LJ.
Al.
Al and LJ.
LJ!
That was Al 100%. Yeah, Al and Seb.
Audience, please yell out the name Al or LJ.
They both
Ow.
sound similar, Jeremy. This is a recipe for disaster.
Okay, how about this? Hands up for
Al.
Al and Seb. Hands up for Al and Seb.
LJ was singing Summer Loving.
Okay, now hands up for LJ.
Lawrence just voted.
Lawrence, please. Lawrence, please vote with me on this one. Lawrence,
All right,
please.
so I think it's pretty clear that Lawrence and LJ have lost. Lawrence
They
is still
say
in with
no.
1 life. LJ, that is
Well,
the end for you.
My dad's ringtone for my mom.
I knew me and I would kill that.
Okay. And then that also knocks Seb out. Al, you have
Why
one
does that
life
knock Seb
left.
out?
Yeah, Seb's not out.
We're on
He
a team.
literally just won.
Yeah,
Al and Seb are on a team.
Never mind.
this
Sorry.
is
LJ
the second
LJ
time I've been in a
Lawrence is down
pair
to 1
and I've
life.
been
I'm
ignored.
stupid. Okay. Anyway, sorry. Jesus Christ. Okay, so the next one is based off of Kahoot, but we're not actually doing a Kahoot. So, Lawrence, can you confirm that you hear me? Okay, so moving on to Brandon. Brandon, you
Yes.
are
I will challenge Lawrence.
Brandon, be so fucking for real. There's a reason that I skipped him. He's not on cam. Pick something else. Someone else.
I'll challenge Seb.
Okay. I'm gonna have a picture. So sorry, Brandon. 3 images of a celebrity famous like duo pair on my phone. Whoever can identify the 2 of the 3 pairs first will win. If neither can get a pair correct in 15 seconds or so, we will randomize a winner at that point. So,
We
are
will
you guys
mock you
ready?
relentlessly.
Yes.
Can y'all
Okay.
hear me just to make sure?
Yes.
Slide.
Okay. First random duo. Let me turn this back down so Brandon doesn't fucking yell at me.
I didn't yell at you.
Rick
Rick and Morty.
Okay, that one was really close.
Yes, but I got it first.
I definitely got it first.
I don't know about
Okay.
that.
How
I
about
definitely.
we're gonna raise hands when you got it. Okay.
Okay.
Wait. Brandon.
It's handsome guy and some hot lady.
Seb.
Is that David Beckham and Victoria Beckham?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. And last one.
Fred and Wilma.
Okay,
Uh,
Brandon
I
got
thought we
it.
were raising hands.
We did. I raised my hand first.
Okay.
Okay, Jeremy, do you know who got the first one? Because they both yelled it out at the same time to me.
I felt like I heard Brandon finish it just before Seb. So what does that make the score? Does that make it 1-1?
Brandon would have won.
Okay. Sorry, Seb.
That's fine. This is -1 since I was ignored last time.
Can I
Okay, so anyway, moving on.
I did win in one of the games.
Ha ha.
Well, you are playing,
Okay.
Wesley. You just haven't been picked for anything.
I'm just making sure I remember. I'm just making sure I remember people didn't forget I existed, which I probably should take advantage of better, but whatever.
Okay, so the next one is the newlywed game. Ow. You
Fuck
were
off,
on
Abby.
the random
Sorry.
take it up with random.org. Damn. So pick an opponent.
Did Lawrence leave?
Do I have to have a pair?
No.
Just pick an
I'll
opponent.
pick Wesley.
Okay. So I'm going to ask 3 basic questions about myself. You must come up with the correct answer to these questions. Each correct answer will be worth 1 point. Write down your answers. If tied for points after 3 questions, you will quickly play rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Yeah, very brief second.
We were told to come with writing supplies.
I'm just
I'll
saying.
use my iPhone.
That's fine too. Okay. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay. First question is, what is my natural hair color? Sorry about my screeching child in the background too. That's just what it is.
Mhm.
Okay. I need answers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Looks like
Blonde and brown.
Al got it. Wesley.
Yep,
doesn't.
Al got it. I am a natural brown. Okay, next question. What state do I live in? Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Make a guess.
Is it vote right yet?
Tennessee. Al, you are the winner. There's no need to go on to the third question. I'm so sorry, Wesley.
I was like at least begin with a T.
Wesley,
I'll give
It was. You were close.
The only reason I remember is
Okay.
because you said that you had a patient who lived in
I was
Virginia.
like, I
and-
didn't even want to do this. You made me do this.
Okay, so anyway, on to the next. Let me randomize again. So we're going to move on to 2 truths and a lie.
Who's left? Just me and Al?
Brandon, Alan Lawrence. So
So
Brandon,
Lawrence got off cam, so Lawrence is out. So it is Al versus Brandon with Al having 2 lives.
Oh, I'll still have 2 lives. God damn it.
And you still have to randomize though because of how this game works. Because whoever gets hit by the randomizer has to do something different.
okay, so this one landed on Brandon. So the player chosen by the randomizer will come up with 2 truths and a lie for their opponent. DM the lie to me, so you can either Facebook message me, whatever you want to do, Brandon. The player, Al, you'll get 30 seconds, or no, sorry. Brandon, you will get 30 seconds to say the truth and the lie, and Al, you will get 30 seconds to guess. So, Brandon, come up with your 2 truths and a lie. Message me the lie.
Okay, I'm sending them on Facebook.
Okay.
All right, and your time starts now, Brandon.
Make
Yeah,
sure
I'm
you
trying to
just
find
English,
Abby on
please.
Facebook.
Here, I'll find it.
How much time are you giving me?
Bump.
Not enough time for you to ask stupid questions.
Okay.
You just have to send me the lie too. You don't have to send the truth. So you can go ahead and say your truths to Al. So because you have 10 seconds.
Oh, I just have to tell you what the lie is?
Yeah.
Okay. I had a dog named Lydia growing up. My major in college was communications, and I have won 2 awards.
All right, clock starting for you, Al. Gotta pick the lie and you win.
You've won 2 orgs.
Not a lie, baby. Woo, 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 woo. Back to back.
Okay, so we'll go to one more game. This game's for the win.
First one was against Stoner.
Okay. So this next one, I'm sending the link. This is off of the memory card. I'm going to send it in the Zoom chat. And you guys,
What are
I'm
we
going to
doing?
read you.
Well,
So-
send it in the PGB chat because they can screenshot back into that. They can't
Okay, yeah, that's
screenshot
true.
into here.
Go to bed.
What are we doing for this?
You are completing the memory game and posting a completed version of it in
Is
the
it who has
PGB
less moves or
lounge.
quicker? Okay, A, there's
It
an
does
error.
not matter. Does not matter. Whoever
just
posts
whoever
it
sends
first
it
wins.
It says, unfortunately, the page you were looking for cannot
Yeah,
be found.
I got that too.
Oh, jeez.
Did you want to get it?
They can't open it.
We can skip on to the next game if it's too
That would be
complicated.
great. No, that would be
That's
great if
fine.
we could skip on to the next
Send a
game.
different memory link.
No. If we
Just
could just skip on to the next one.
Just skip to the next game and okay.
Okay, so both of you, I'm going to absolutely knock you out. So this one's going to be off of the Family Feud. I am doing if y'all need birth control, here it is. So I did separate questions this time. So let me randomize this really quick.
Whoever gets more points.
So yeah, that's basically so. But you'll each have a different set of
Is one answer a point, or there are points to each answer, like in the show?
I just pulled it off of the internet, so it's
okay. I think I have to let Brandon win. I'm sorry, I have the tribal council that I have to go to. This was a lot of fun. Good luck to everybody. I'm so sorry to have to leave now, but I can't, like, I made a commitment to them, so I have to do that. Okay. Bye.
You're good. Thank you, Al. All right.
Thank you.
Brandon, go check the vote tally.
I did. I already wrote them down. I can multitask and win.
All right. On that note, players and jurors can all come back on cam. Everybody else can go off cam. Except for Brandon. And we will tally the votes.
Okay. Before we start, I want to say again, I love both of you. I am proud of both of you. I think you both played amazing games, and either of you would be a very, very deserving winner of this season. Jury, thank you for being here and casting your votes. Thank you all for playing. It's been a ride. But here we are. I will read the vote count for Power Grab, Season 9 pairs, flops, and friends. The first vote goes to Haley. The second vote goes to Louise. That's one Haley, one Louise. The next vote goes to Louise. Two Louise, one Haley. The next vote goes to Louise. That's three Louise, one Haley. Next vote, Haley, 3-2. Next vote, Louise. That's 4 votes Louise, 2 votes Haley. Next vote, Haley. That's 4 votes Louise, 3 votes Haley. Next vote, Haley. We're tied up at 4-4. The next vote goes to Louise. It's 5 for Louise, 4 for Haley. Next vote goes to Haley. We're tied up at 5-5. This last vote will determine the winner of Power Grab Season 9. And with that being said, the winner of Power Grab Season 9 and the final vote goes to Louise. Congratulations, Louise. You played a phenomenal game. Haley, you should be so proud of yourself as well. You both played so well. We love you so much, both of you.
Congratulations, both of you. For those of you who will not watch the reunion, next season is season 10, All Stars. We're doing a Survivor theme. But to close out the regular part of the season before the reunion, what do you have to say, Louise?
I just have so much love for this cast. I had so much fun. I have so much love for Haley, who is just like been such an extreme competitor. And I'm so glad it was this close. If it had to, I think it's just a testament to how good of a game we truly played together. And yeah, I'm so happy. Thank you so much, everybody.
You're muted.
Sorry. That's about normal for me. I was trying to say, all right, that will do it for this season. We'll take about a 5-minute break. I'll send you a new Zoom for the reunion. Anybody who wants to come there, we have awards. It'll be fun. Usually they last less than an hour. If anybody wants to come and hang out with us, but we'll see you in 5-10 minutes. Okay, bye.
Now scram.
Now fuck off.
Yeah.
Get out.
I was gonna say scram is distortion. I know you are not using distortion and power grab right now.
It's my little brother's org. If I want to steal his line, I'm stealing his line.
Sorry.
But it's the wrong org.
We're doing a different link for reunion.
Okay,